Shalom family, Trendsetter back again. Real quick, I want to share an interaction that I had with someone earlier today. Now, we was, talking about this anomaly, I'm gonna call it an anomaly and shit, that's happening where you have the so-called white people siding with black people. And the question was posed to me, why do I think it's happening now? So, I gave this individual my honest answer. I said, well, simply because, first of all, the 400-year prophecy, I believe, has fulfilled or is about to be fulfilled. And the Most High, y'all refer to him as God, is pouring out his spirit on the heathen nation, the wicked ones that actually set up the system to tear down the system. I also stated to the individual, and one of the reasons why you see all these statues being torn down is simply because when the Most High returns with his angels, right? Aliens, if you will, to come back to gather his people, his chosen people, his elect. He don't want to come here and see idols, because the Most High do not like idols. He hates idols. So he know that this prison planet that was ruled over by these heathens, these wicked ones, they like to erect themselves all over, the world, all over the planet, to prove or to show mankind who is in charge. So the Most High is using the same people, descendant of the same people that erected these idols, these monuments, whatever the fuck you want to call them, statues, to tear it down, because the Most High is not going to come back to this place to gather his elect to see these people propping themselves up like gods. And that's why you see a lot of these statues being torn down. This is what the Most High have spoken to me when I asked in silence, why now? This is the revelation that I've gotten from the Most High. So for those of you who are wondering why these white people are siding with us, so-called white people, because they're really pink, red, are siding with us, it's not because they wanted to or they're intentionally doing it. It's because the Most High have put a spirit upon them. Now, a lot of y'all might say, well, I don't know. Well, let me explain to you why, let's say 2 years ago, they didn't have this movement before the 400-year prophecy fulfilled. Why is it that I'm not saying they didn't march with us and shit, or you wanted to be a part of history, because that's why they do it. Now, the Most High is very strategically, he plans ahead of time. Notice what he did. He allowed these devils to create a pandemic, right? To shut us in, to keep us still. Because remember, before the pandemic, we was out and about doing our own thing. We wasn't focused. So he shut us in and shit. He closed the motherfucking churches. All praises be to the Most High for that. And he allowed us to stand still. And a lot of people don't have nothing else better to do. So then the situation with George Floyd occur. And then now we had a reason for the season to go out there and protest. And while we was out there, because see, the Most High knew the plan, right? He knew the plan was for us to go out there as black people only and protest on behalf of the death of George Floyd. Next thing you know, the president or whoever the fuck, the government said, oh, the second wave is here and it's due to all the protesting, and black people now is the face of corona, right? So the plan was for them to stir us up and shit, for us to go out there, protest in droves. And then next thing you know, they come knock on your motherfucking door, forcing vaccine on your ass, or quarantine you sometime indefinitely and shit because you was out protesting. But what happened, the Most High said, okay, I got the plan, I got the memo. Well, let me fix the memo. Let me tweak the shit a little bit. So he invited, not even invited, but he involved the heathen, the so-called white people, to participate. So as much as they would like to gather us up, that means they would have to gather up themselves as well, because they was mostly out there. Matter of fact, in many states, you see mostly white people tearing up shit. You know what I'm saying? Being having civil disobedience, or whatever the fuck they want to coin it as, right? So that's what's happening, family. So in case y'all are wondering, hold on, family, I think Popo on the right. Nope. So in case y'all are wondering why now all these statues are being torn down is because the Most High is not going to allow his holy angels, set apart angels, to come to this prison planet and see mankind, mere mankind, especially these hybrids and shit, these insignificant beings that he didn't create. They were just an anomaly and shit that came about, propping themselves up to be leaders or godlike. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why you see the motherfucking idols are being torn down. All praises be to the Most High. And in closing, like I told y'all before this year ends, there will be an announcement of the death of a world leader, a significant world leader. There will be an announcement of a death of a significant world leader. And I know somebody stated in one of my videos that, well, world leaders die every day. Like I said before, you tell me when the last time you heard of a world leader dying. Name one world leader that died within the last motherfucking 5 years. You can't give it to me because it ain't happened. But you're going to hear it this year, 2020, before 2020 out. I'm predicting, right, that this shit is going to happen. I'm prophesying that it's going to happen. The Most High spoke to my spirit. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Anyway, family, with that, I say peace and blessings. Shalom.